Get it together. Get it together. Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. Sparkling water cheers. Today is Tuesday, April 25th. In the year 2017. How are you? I wanted to talk to you about something I've been doing in the mornings. You know, a lot of people talk about morning routines. Stuff like drinking water, meditation, exercising, you know, all important things. And if you can do them in your morning, it can transform your day. I've been playing around with this stuff for years now, and when I do it, it works very well. But sometimes, one of the things that almost everyone talks about is a gratitude list, right? And a gratitude list sounds great. But when you're trying to come up, you know, being grateful for something, feeling grateful and feeling gratitude for something in your life will help you not feel so shitty about your life. Like in my case, I can either concentrate on the bad things that are happening, or before my brain automatically goes that way, I can try to find something that's good that's happening and focus on that. Because why not? I can choose to focus on either the good or the bad. If I focus on the bad, I'm going to feel like shit. I'm going to want to drink. I'm not going to want to do anything. I'm going to get depressed. But if I focus on what's good, I'll see the shining light. Maybe it'll push me to do more good things that I can be grateful for. And just to appreciate the stuff that we have, like health, you know, both your arms and legs and all your fingers. A lot of people walking around missing limbs. Like they would love to have your problem of you don't like to wake up early in the morning or whatever. So there's always something to feel grateful about. But after some period of time, especially if you expect to do this for years, you're going to run out of things to be grateful for. You start writing. I've written down. You start writing down stupid stuff like, you know, my tongue isn't swollen. You have to start coming up with weird, ridiculous stuff. So in my own morning routine, which I'm never 100% consistent with, but I always try to do something in the morning before I get online and start, you know, working and then obsessively checking social media and all the crap that we do. What I've been doing lately is I found something I'm grateful for every day. And this goes way back many years. But the experiment that I'm trying now is instead of writing down 3 things I'm grateful for, because honestly, like I said, they turn into shit. It's like, well, you know, I don't have any children with cancer. You know, you run out of ideas. So something I've been doing lately is in the morning, going outside. I wake up pretty early, sometimes 4, 5 in the morning. 6, 7 is the latest I get up. But when you wake up in the morning and the sun's coming up, go outside, and I'll stand out there and watch. Or sometimes I do it from my apartment window. I can see for miles and miles and miles. I can see all the way to the beach from here. But what I like to do is either outside or from my window, just observe people stuck in traffic and driving to work. And the gratitude that I feel when I watch that is just that I'm not in it. I'm not one of them anymore. And I'm so grateful for that because, I mean, I spent most of my life being one of those people. Wake up in the morning, maybe you're hungover, maybe you're just tired, maybe you ate pizza for dinner and you feel like shit, but you know, you wake up, you have to be at work at 9. So let's say you live a half an hour away from work. If it was me, I would then wake up at 8:20 a.m., give myself 10 minutes to race out the door, maybe, you know, pop in the shower, throw on some clothes, a cup of coffee, and gone. No real time to myself, no time to think, no time to plan, no time to play music. Just jump in the car and race to work in traffic. And with any luck, you get there at 8:59 or 9:01, and you did it. And then you work, you go home, you eat pizza, you go to sleep, wake up, you get back in your car, and you make that drive again. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a job you don't like, that doesn't pay enough money, and you're still barely getting by. But you have to do this morning routine that is basically jump out of bed, even though you don't want to. Try to make yourself as presentable as possible, and then race to a job that you hate. And while you're driving to the job that you hate, you're surrounded by thousands of other drivers, hundreds of other drivers who also hate where they're going. So everyone's in a bad mood. This morning I went out and I watched the traffic. And 99 out of 100 cars, the driver was in a noticeably, had like a pained look on their face. Or they were honking their horn or waving their hands. Remember, I'm in Los Angeles at a very busy intersection. If I saw 100 drivers, I would say 75 of them were probably in some sort of physical bad mood. You could see it from where I was. I was actually out this morning on a bus stop bench, and I was just standing on the bench filming cars and taking pictures. And it made me feel so damn good. I've been doing it. It makes me feel so good. Just a simple gratitude in the morning that I'm not doing that. Even if everything, okay, so I don't socialize as much as people think I should. Or maybe I didn't call someone back, and man, I should have really called. All those are nothing. The fact that I don't have to jump in a car and drive to some place that I hate to make less than I feel like I'm worth, to buy a bunch of stuff that I don't really need. Like back in the day, even when I was making the most money I ever made, I was always broke. I always had like a couple of $100 in the bank. If maybe 1,000 or more if I was really saving. But no matter, when I first started working, I was making minimum wage. And then at the end, I had a decent salary, enough money to live very well in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But I was always broke. If I was making $20,000 a year, I was broke. $50,000 a year, broke. $75,000 a year, broke. I was always broke because the extra money just went to BS, to drinks, stuff I didn't need, gambling. I'd find a way to lose it and find a way to be broke. So the benefit wasn't there. I mean, if I was making, a lot of money at a job and I was saving and putting all the money in an index fund with a master plan of retiring in 5 years or 10 years, if you make 60, 70, let's say you make $100,000 a year. If you save 80% of your money and just struggle for 10 years, put it in the index fund, you can retire forever. If I was doing that sort of a plan, it would make more sense. But when you're just driving to work to make enough money so you can buy all this stupid shit that you don't really need anyway and that you think will make you happy, but it actually makes you sad, when you're playing that game, it's tough. And so for today, instead of writing a gratitude list, I'm just grateful not to be in that rat race, man. And maybe you're there too, or maybe you're trying to get there. I know a lot of you are trying to get there. It's one of the reasons you tune in is you know that I pulled it off 10 years ago somehow. And then you listen to me talk, hoping I'll say something that'll help you do it too. And so this is a big one. If you've managed, let's say you're not rich, but you don't have to work a job. I heard a really great quote a few days ago, and he said, would you be willing to take a 30% pay cut to work for yourself? Yes or no? If you say no, you're not an entrepreneur. You never will be. You just find a way to enjoy your job because that's for you. In my case, I was willing to make a third of what my previous salary was just to work for myself. It would have been just enough money to scrape by. Yeah, it'd be about 30 or 40% of my salary. I quit my job. And I was only earning maybe 30% of my salary on my own, but it was enough to squeak by and live. And to me, that was great. I'd rather be broke and work for myself than make $200,000 a year working at some company that I just hate and that drives me crazy. Because it's, people work these jobs and they work their asses off, and let's say you make a good salary or whatever, you're working for what? For happiness. You want to have the money to be able to relax and feel happy, have the things that make you happy. But you can be happy without a $250,000 a year salary. As long as your bills are paid, you can just decide to be happy. Be glad you're not out there running that rat race. Even if you're making 30 grand a year, 25 grand a year at a gas station. I think I made 15 a year at a gas station. If you're paying your bills, especially if you've ventured into the world of affiliate marketing and you figured out a way to scrape by. That's what I did. That's what I was going to say, but then I trailed off. But I found a way using affiliate marketing to make 30% of what I was already making at my salary. And I quit my job. Everybody said, you're crazy. I said, you don't know what you're talking about, because this is what I want to do. I would rather be broke. I used to want to be homeless, because to me, homeless people had freedom. They didn't have schedules. They didn't have bills. They didn't have taxes. They just had whatever. Wake up, start drinking, and whatever happens, happens. And then when you die, you die. I envied that lifestyle for a long time and used to talk about how I was going to try it for a few years. But I didn't want to be homeless. I wanted to be free. And the good news is you don't have to be homeless to be free. You just have to be comfortable with scraping by. Because the truth is, if you're making $50K a year, making $100K a year won't really change your life. After you have your needs met, there are some stats. They say $75,000 a year. Everything over that doesn't really improve your happiness much anymore. Even if you do start making a lot of money, you'll have fun buying stuff and you'll feel good that your bills are paid, but that won't last. In a matter of time, you'll be right back to thinking, what's my purpose in life? What makes me happy? And today what makes me happy is just not being a member of the rat race anymore. So if you need something to put on your gratitude list, look, man, we've all read the morning routine articles. I've read 1 million of them. They all include about the same few things. Drinking water, meditate, make a gratitude list. Tim Ferriss documented this stuff years ago, and everyone's done kind of versions of that ever since. Actually, Eben Pagan did a course like 11 years ago called Wake Up Productive that went over some of this stuff. I remember seeing it. It was like drinking water, just the basics. Drink water, take a shower, eat breakfast, don't eat breakfast, have some coffee, maybe say a prayer, get some sort of exercise, and then find something to be grateful for the day. And if you've run out of things to be grateful for, which happens to me sometimes, and I'm writing down stupid stuff like, well, I don't have a third arm growing out of my forehead yet. Go outside and watch other people. And sometimes you can find that just the thing to be grateful for is that you're not them. That being you's not such a bad thing, because you could be out in that mess right now. Or walk around in Hollywood where I live and you'll see some people you don't want to be. These homeless people that I used to think were so free, I see them on a daily basis now. That's not freedom. That's horror. That's a nightmare. The trick for freedom is to get your bills paid and then be happy. Find other things to do. Fun doesn't cost money. Happiness doesn't cost money. Money can give you a shortcut and power and access to certain things. But I go to this park all the time by myself. I do it to get out of the house, go walk in the woods, breathe in that tree oxygen. For some reason, it kind of gets me high, puts my brain in a different place when I'm out in the woods, breathing that tree oxygen. And I'll look around, and there are families in this park. This is a small park that no one goes to. I don't go to the big popular parks. This is a relatively smaller park. And the families out there, they don't have a lot. I see their cars, they're beat up. There's, mom and a dad and 6 kids, and they're out there cooking hot dogs on a grill. And they don't have anything special. They didn't land in a helicopter, and there's no swimming pool and jewelry or whatever. Special lighting system and a DJ set up. They're just out there cooking. The kids are running around in circles, maybe, playing in the leaves or climbing trees, and they're having a blast. That's all it takes. Sometimes I think they're happier than a lot of the people I know that are super wealthy. I know some really depressed rich people, some really sad rich people. Then I know some really happy poor people. But then I also know some sad poor people and some happy rich people. So it kind of a little bit of whatever. But for this day, I'd say I spent 15 minutes standing on a bus bench, filming traffic, watching the people that drove by, just being glad that I wasn't caught up in that rat race anymore. And for me, that's what I'm grateful for today. And that's the video today. I got things to do. I got to research some hotels and an Airbnb for a trip I'm going on. Mad Society's having a live mastermind today. And I was working on a blog post just now that's going to come out Thursday about copywriting. So stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you're doing well. Water cheers on the way out. It's Tuesday, man. Have a great week. And as always, I will see you in the future.